evening. I am Jack Fujii, and welcome to the 9th session of Agriculture 194A, Focus on Agriculture. Focus on Agriculture is a one-credit course offered by your College of Agriculture, Forestry, and Natural Resource Management here at the University of Hawaii at Hilo. And we come to you live every Thursday evening from the television studios located in the Mookini Library here on the University of Hawaii at Hilo campus. And for those of you joining us for the first time, Focus on Agriculture is a course to inform you about the various aspects of diversified agriculture in the state of Hawaii. But since the cooking class has been so popular, we've continued with this cooking class where we bring in various people from the community where they prepare for us various dishes emphasizing local agricultural commodities. Before I go on, I'd like to make a few announcements, and if I could have the Elmo, please. If you have to get a hold of me, there are several ways you can get a hold of me. One is by mail at Hilo, College of Agriculture, Forestry, and Natural Resource Management, 200 West Kawili Street, Hilo, Hawaii, 96720. Or you can get a hold of me by phone at 933-0850. And if I'm not in, just leave a message on my Kotophone. Or you can get a hold of me by fax at 974-7674. And for those of you on the internet, you can get a hold of me by email at jfujii@hawaii.edu. Also, I'd like to say a few words about the College of Agriculture. We have a program in animal science with a pre-veterinary option where our students can complete the pre-veterinary medicine program and continue on in veterinary school on the mainland. Or if they're interested in a production option in animal science, we have that also. We also have a specialization in agribusiness, agroecology and environmental quality, aquaculture, crop protection, and general agriculture. So if you know anyone who is interested in a hands-on program in agriculture, please get a hold of me and I'll provide you with all the information. Also, I'd like to remind you that if you are taking the course for credit, your recipes are due in my office on or before April 4th. So make sure you get your recipes into me in the format where you put all the ingredients up at the top and then on the bottom explain how you put the dish together. Also, I'd like to mention that we have all of our 12 volumes of our cookbooks. So if you are a cookbook collector, please give us a call and I'll give you all the information about our Focus on Agriculture cookbook. We have another very interesting presentation, but at approximately 8 o'clock we'll open it up to question and answers, so I hope you jot down your questions and give us a call at approximately 8 p.m. Those of you on the outer island, you can call us collect, and of course those of you here on the Big Island can call us direct. I hope you don't change the channel. We have another very interesting presentation for you this evening. Tonight we are featuring GASPRO of Hawaii, and they are going to do some tailgate cooking for us, so this should be very interesting. My guests this evening are Jim Webb. Jim is the president of GASPRO Hawaii, and we also have joining Jim, we have Margie Yoshioka. She's the manager of the retail operation for GASPRO Hawaii. And we also have Richard Yoshiyama, who's the manager of the gas section of GASPRO Hawaii. And also we have Glen Kotomori. Glen is the Big Island GASPRO manager. And Mark Manzo, he is with sales here at the Big Island GASPRO office. So I'm going to turn the class over to Jim, and let's do some tailgate cooking.
Jack, thank you, and to the students, welcome, and be an interesting evening. We're going to not just tailgate cooking. You can do this type of cooking in the backyard. And one of the questions that was asked, you know, Jim, what does cooking have to do with GASPRO? And that we're manufacturers of oxygen, nitrogen, CO2, and dry ice. Well, we happen to sell propane, so about 7 or 8 years ago, we started using our equipment and doing tailgates at football games. And our recipes are all tried at the tailgates, and then we hopefully we'll start putting them into a cookbook. So tonight we have 6 dishes we're going to prepare, and I know your students will probably enjoy them at the end. So we'll have chicken, turkey, we'll do a Mandu, which is an appetizer, we'll have noodles and shrimp for you at the end of the evening. So it'll be a fun evening.
And Jim, you also do a lot of these tailgate kind of cooking affairs for community service, right?
Well, what we've done, Jack, thanks. Yes, what we've done is we've expanded this now. For example, we do cooking for foster children. There was 2,500 of them, and at the park, we've done for rehab hospital, United Way functions and so forth. But we usually have 1 or 2 fundraisers we're doing each month, and I keep Margie and Richard pretty busy in terms of doing the preparation work for these functions. So they could be anywhere from 200 people on up to, as I said, 2,500.
Okay.
We're ready to get started then, is that correct?
Okay, let's go, Jim.
Okay, the first dish tonight, very easy, very simple to do, and it's called, you're gonna have a couple names for it. It's called chicken, beer butt chicken. It can be called Okoli chicken. Easy to prepare, okay? When I say easy, because about 10 years ago, I was kicked out of my house doing my type of cooking that I liked to do, and had to go to the backyard. So this is when I started doing a lot of experimenting in terms of the various dishes that, because I was making too much mess in the kitchen, right? So my wife said, please, backyard cooking. And so we've started experimenting here over the last couple, 2-3 years. And the main ingredients for this now, okay, quite easy. And when I say beer, it is. And unfortunately, I will open it, but normally what we do is remove about 1/3 of the can, and you know how we do that, right? Pour it in a cup, and then we don't want to spill it, so we have to drink it, but I can't do that, unfortunately, tonight. So, and we do use the beer, so, and we take about 1/3 of it out, so Richard or Glenn, if you could just dump it in the back, give it back to me.
And so, Jim, also at GASPRO, you sell all this cooking equipment too, right?
Well, this is how we really started getting involved with the cooking aspect of it. If you're going to sell the equipment, you should know how to use it, and you should know several recipes. So, as I said earlier, these recipes will be ones that we've done quite often at tailgate parties or fundraisers. Now, again, a 4 or 5 pound chicken. And what we do is we use a little oil. We'll put a little oil on it first,
Suppose we need.
so that when we put it on the grill, we'll be able to. It will brown very nicely. Now, I'm not one for being real fancy with all the mixes, but we do have ingredients that you use, and you can use almost any ingredients. But for tonight, what I've got is 2 Cajun seasonings that we will use. And when I do these type of chickens on the grill, I normally will double up on how much I put on. And that's the reason is you're kind of steaming it, and you want that flavor. Now, we do it the night before, and then place them in a Ziploc bag so that they can seal the juices in. But we also want it chilled, so when we put it on the grill, it will seal the juices on the inside.
And then most of these ingredients you also sell at GASPRO, right?
Yes, we do. We try to sell a total package so somebody can buy everything there and they don't have to run around to various other stores. The grill will be at about 375 degrees. Quite easy to do. Again, place the beer can in the open cavity. And then what I like to do is you set it on the grill, and we use an indirect heat so that the chicken is not being exposed to heat directly under it, okay? In this particular case, we have a Weber grill, and we have the front and back burner on with the center burner off.
And so that beer can is about half full, you say, Jim?
About 2/3 full.
2/3, okay.
Now it's very important to position the legs so it stabilizes. And what I try to tell people is, again, an hour and a half, but what happens when you're saying you're having this type of a meal or what you're cooking, people want to look at it. They want to see what's really going on. So you end up opening it a half a dozen times. And that's why it should only take an hour, 15 minutes, but because you open it several times, the grill, it'll take a little bit longer.
So the first thing you do is you kind of oil the chicken up?
I oil the chicken first, both in and out. And again, that will help the browning process. And then we use our seasoning, or our, as we call it, rub. And again, you can use anything that you would like in terms of the seasoning. This we found to be quick. We found it to be very, very good.
So you do about one of these community service cookouts every month, right?
Every month, a minimum of, well, Margie schedules us a minimum of 1 a month, but normally it ends up to be probably 2 a month that we do. We just finished with the food bank. We cook for 250 people there. And we have Rehab Hospital fundraiser coming up next month. So yes, we're very, very busy doing that.
Okay.
Sometimes if the chicken is a little bit under 4 pounds, it gets a little difficult sometimes to get it into the cavity.
Oh, that's a very interesting way of cooking the
Very simple, isn't it? I mean, it's very easy to do, and just about anybody should be able to do this one.
And that's all you do? You just leave it on there?
I leave it on there. Now, I do one other thing. I'll take tin foil, roll it up in a ball, and where the neck was, I'll place that in there so I can keep all the flavor inside of the chicken. So I just take and place it in the where the neck is to kind of seal that off.
So I guess that beer kind of boils in there and produces some steam and cooks the inside of the chicken.
And it's very, very tender, Jack, when we do it this way, extremely tender. Somebody said, why not use water? We've experimented before with water. In other cooking, we find that the beer works the best. I mean, we do beer cooking with baby back ribs, absolutely super, and kind of the same technique. So we incorporate beer quite often in our recipes.
Does it make any difference what kind of beer you use?
Well, I like to use, I guess because I'm older, so I use light beer. But you can use a Budweiser or a Coors, or I don't like to use a Heineken's or something that really has a real strong beer taste to it. So we try to use just, and I use the light beer and it works extremely well with that. So that will be at 375 degrees, hour and a half. And you'll remove it. Now, please, I think the safety aspect of this, that beer can is hot. Now, I normally, you'll watch where I'll take it off, and you have to be very careful in doing that. You don't want to spill the beer. So that will take about an hour and a half, and we're on now at, say, about 7:15 right now.
Okay.
Okay.
What's next?
What's next? This is the fun one. This is the one that we introduced about 7 years ago to Hawaii, and this is fried turkey. And again, almost the same procedure. We take and season the turkey the night before. Again, bag it as we call it, place it in a bag. And before I show you what we do there, it's very important, this process, with reference to the safety aspect of this, okay? Extremely important. One, the temperature of the oil should not exceed 350 degrees. No reason for going above that. What happens at 350 degrees, the oil will start breaking down. We like to use cottonseed oil, or we'll also use peanut oil, those two oils. Vegetable oil works, but it breaks down very, very quickly. And you've got to watch the temperature more closely with that. The other, we love to wear slippers when we're outside, right? And I say in this particular aspect of cooking, please, no slippers when you do this. Now, if you get a new pot, now we finally have convinced the manufacturers on the new pot to be able to say if you have a 15 or 17 pound turkey, they will put a mark on the pot now in terms of how much oil to put in there. But the best thing to do is take your turkey before you season it, place it in a pot, fill it up with water, take the turkey out so you'll know what your oil level is. All right? You don't want to put too much oil in the pot. What's going to happen is it'll boil over directly on your stove, and you don't want that to occur. All right? So that's very, very important. The safety aspect here. And again, you'll see me. I will put on welding gloves when I'm done, and I wear gloves when I'm working around the oil when I place the turkey into the pot. Now remember now, 350 degrees, okay, and we got a chilled turkey. That means that oil is going to start bubbling up very quickly. So you want to slowly, very slowly do it and place it in. Now with the turkey, we cook that at about 3.5 minutes per pound. If you wanted to do chicken, and we find chicken to be very, very good, also fried, and we do it two ways. Again, we'll season it the night before. We'll do a whole chicken, and you could put in this size pot 3 or 4 chickens there, and chicken cooks at 7.5 minutes per pound. Same type of procedure that I used with the beer chicken. Same procedure in terms of preparation. All right, so you could put 3 or 4 at a time in a pot. With the halves, with this size pot, the halves are excellent. Again, you're seasoning the total half, but you could put a half a dozen to say even 8 halves in a pot. Again, the cooking time for that would be about 7 minutes per pound. Tonight, I believe we have, what size do we have, Margie?
14 pounds.
We got a 14 pound, so the 14-pound turkey will take how long? Somebody help me with that math out there. Somebody's going to get a calculator out and tell me, right? How many minutes is that going to take? 3.5 minutes on a 14-pounder? 49, so we'll call it 50 minutes. And again, as you can see, we pre-seasoned this already for tonight, but you remove the neck and so forth from there. And again, we wanted to show you what it would look like as it sits all day. It will, with this Cajun seasoning, have a great flavor to it. You're going to say fried turkey? What are you talking to me about? I don't believe it'll be good. All of that oil will penetrate into the white meat. Absolutely will not penetrate into the white meat. Immediately upon placing it in the oil, it will seal itself on the outside. The skin, everybody will want the skin tonight. You'll be fighting over the skin, and that ends up almost being the best part. So we have a stand for that, and you should be using, again, a stand so that will sit up properly. And what I'm doing right now is just making an opening in the neck part so that I can place it onto the stand. Again, legs up. Quite simple to do. This, again, very easy, simple recipe that we use. And we have a hook so that we can lower it.
Let's get our overhead camera positioned on the turkey deep fryer there, so then we can see Jim putting it into the deep fryer.
I've had Richard watching the temperature for me because I don't want that to go over 350 because it's just going to take.
And then every year, Jim, GASPRO has a big sale that goes on where you can buy all of these different cookery items at a pretty good deal, right?
That's correct. We always have 2 tent sales a year here in Hilo. But tonight, for callers coming in, if they make an offer on this equipment, what we're going to do with that money, we will donate it to the school, to this department, okay? So when they call in later on in the show, we want to keep supporting the community, and this is one way to do it. Margie's probably looking at me right now saying, what are you doing again? But again, it's a way to support the program. So,
wow, thank you very much.
Nothing to it. Now make sure that we use a hanger too. A lot of people like to just take it and grab it from here and set it in. No, there's a proper equipment to use, and Richard has made sure that the temperature, and again, we have thermometers, long thermometers. He's made sure that the temperature was 350 for me. Now, it will drop down to probably about 325. I'm okay with that also. 325 to 350 is fine.
And you got your welding gloves on.
And you can hear it boiling up right away.
And you just lower it real slowly, right?
Very, very slowly with it.
And that steam that's coming up is hot, so it's best to have a pair of welding gloves. Wow.
As you can see, Jack, I always watch this carefully, and I kind of not want to talk when I'm doing this. I want to make sure that that we don't spill anything here. Of course, somebody's going to ask, Jim, did you put the water in first? No, we didn't, because we already had it seasoned, okay? And I didn't know what, but we've done probably, last year we did 50 turkeys one afternoon for United Way at Queens Hospital. So we pretty much know about how much we should be putting in there.
49.
We do have it properly covered. We want the oil to cover the top of the of the legs. You can probably see it on the screen extremely well. Jack, that's the second one, and again, I got to have a timing on this, so somebody out there would, it's 7:22, so let me know when it's ready to come off, okay? And I don't know what the time was, but we have the students timing me, so you let me know. Somebody raise their hand and tell me who is going to be responsible tonight for that time. I don't see any hands being raised, but it should be nice. Okay, you got the time. You got the time for me, okay? All right, now we're moving on to our third, and this is a favorite appetizer that people like us to make at the tailgate parties. And we take part in all UH tailgates, which can be anywhere from 8 games to 9 games a year. And we can be feeding anywhere from 100 to 250 people. For the Pro Bowl, we normally have around 500. So at the Pro Bowl, we do some real experimenting because we've got such a cross-section of people in terms of some of our recipes. So Margie developed this recipe, and it's a great recipe. So I'm going to let her start with this one and turn it over. Mind you, Richard and Margie are not very happy with me tonight because they thought that they were just going to assist and I was going to do all the talking. So I didn't say anything until we got here, and I said, Mike, come up, because they're going to be on with us too tonight. And so Margie, your turn.
Okay, this crab mandu recipe is an appetizer, and it's very simple to make. It just takes 1 8-ounce package of cream cheese, and let's see, about 3 tablespoons of green onion.
Finely chopped.
Yeah, chopped.
Okay.
So we'll put some of this in here.
And you notice how more precise the women are? The men are not precise, okay? They say, I'll say, oh, a couple of this, a couple of that, but the women have it right down to science here. 1 quart of this, 1 of that. We don't do that. Rich and I do not do that.
And then we take 1 teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce.
Okay.
Here. And a 1/4 cup of mayonnaise.
1/4 cup of mayonnaise.
And it's very simple. And it's that's all there is to this. And you just sort of just gonna mix this up.
Now, while Margie's mixing that, Jim, on the turkey now, someone has to be watching the temperature at all times.
Yes, we recommend that somebody stays by that, and we can have anywhere from 3 to 4 to 5 pots going, and we'll have cardboard underneath them as we have wood tonight, and we'll write down the time that we put it in, so we're pretty precise in terms of the timing. We experimented with that enough to know that it takes 3.5 minutes around.
So if the temperature goes down a little bit, the oil temperature goes down, then you have to increase the heat a little bit.
Well, if it stays between the 325 and the 350, it's okay.
Okay.
I mean, this isn't, precise like you would get on a stove, but 3 1/4 to 350 would be fine.
Okay. How we doing, Marge?
This recipe makes about, well, I say about 36 of these mandu. You need to get these mandu wraps here. These round wrap. This is really not a mandu wrap. This is all I could find at one of your stores. It's one of these goza wrappers, but this will work. So what we need to do is use one of these and use water, or you can use egg or whatever, and just, you know, dampen it a little bit. And you need to put a teaspoon of this in here.
So you get
Like
it
that.
precise again, right? A teaspoon, people.
And these crab, you should use the strips because it's easier if you just cut this in thirds, and it would just.
Okay. So that's imitation crab.
And this is imitation crab. So you just put it right on here, and then you just seal it, and just seal the edges,
so
and it becomes like a half moon.
So Marge, normally you use a round kind of wrap instead of the square one.
Right. The mandu
Okay.
wrap is a little bit thicker than this, and when you fold it up, it looks like a half moon. Okay. And all you need to do with this is deep fry it in oil. You can even pan fry it if you want to with very little oil, or you can deep fry it in a wok with about 350, not beyond that, the temperature. And you'll just brown this, and you're just ready. It's a very simple recipe, very great for pupus.
So, and once it's done, what you serve it with anything?
No, you just like this.
Just like that,
It's just
okay.
wonderful.
Well, for those of you who just joined us, you're watching Agriculture 194A, Focus on Agriculture. And this evening we're featuring GASPRO of Hawaii. And we're really happy that Jim Webb and Margie Yoshioka and Richard Yoshiyama, they all flew over today just to be here with us this evening. So we really appreciate them coming all the way over from Oahu.
Well, Jack, we appreciate you having us. This is a fun part of what we do in our business, and it's good to get out and be in the community, and hopefully tonight we'll meet some of the students and talk to them about what their majors are and so forth.
You can just
And so you want that oil to be about how hot
about
again?
350.
350.
Yeah.
Okay.
Should stay around there, not any higher. So we'll just put in there and just brown this.
Wow, that looks good. And so, Jim, you've got all of this wok and the burners and the whole works at GASPRO, right?
We have a very wide selection of various size woks and various size burners. These two happen to be 172,000 BTUs. We like the heat that it produces, and it does do a when we're doing something like this, it does give us a little quicker cooking time.
So all of these cooking units, they would be good for camping or backyard or tailgate or whatever. Huh?
You're absolutely correct, Jack. My backyard has my Weber grill, of course, and I have two of these setups here. I just enjoy wok cooking. It's a lot of fun.
So what would a setup like that cost, like the wok setup and the turkey setup?
They could range anywhere depending upon the package. If it has the pot and the wok, and you have the tank, and if this happens to be mild steel, the stainless steel ones, we have stainless steel, complete stainless steel kits, and they can go anywhere from $150 on up to $400.
So do you plan to do any cooking service out here on the Big Island?
Well, what we'll do with this tonight, when we get them done, I'll have Glen pass them around, and we have some napkins there, and while we're cooking, you can have something to eat while we're doing the rest of our recipe tonight.
Okay. So how long have you been doing all of this kind of community service, Jim?
Probably in the last 7 or 8 years, we've really stepped up the activity in the community. I think it's important for companies to give back to the community whose purchases from us. So we enjoy doing it because you have an opportunity to meet new people, and you really get, in some cases, we do have some of our businesses directly involved with us in terms of cooking in the community.
So GASPRO not only sells gas, but you also have hospital equipment also, right, Jim?
We manufacture oxygen, and it's FDA regulated, so we sell oxygen both in liquid form and in cylinder form. We also manufacture CO2 and dry ice, nitrogen, and we have liquid helium. Liquid helium is used at the observatory, for example, for clarity of their viewing. The temperature of liquid helium, and now you can make this as a side note, is a negative 375 degrees, and that's what produces the clarity. So we have a wide range of what we do. This happens to be the fun part of our business, and this is probably why we enjoy getting involved in the community.
And also GASPRO has welding equipment and brazing equipment, and
yes,
it's a good place to go to shop around.
And what we've tried to do too is to make our stores a little bit more friendlier for the ladies to come in and buy things for their boyfriends or for their husbands and so forth. So we try to make it a little bit more fun atmosphere.
I love to walk in that GASPRO store here in Hilo out in Keaukaha. There's so many things there. You just kind of drool and wish you could buy everything, but just can't do that.
Well, we call it big boy shopping stores, okay? They like to come in, and we see more ladies now, and we love that because when a lady comes in with her boyfriend or with her husband, it's because she has the money. So we like to see that. Or she has the credit card, right? Yeah, I'll put some more in there for you. You gonna get them? Glen, would you, Manzo start? You got some paper towel, Manzo pass these out. Glen?
While it's still hot? Okay.
Well, they're still warm, they'd be better. Here you go.
They're going to get an early treat tonight.
Well, I see people sitting out there, they say, I don't want to wait until 8 o'clock to eat. Get something now for us.
Oh, you're very kind, Jim. I can see all those happy smiles out there.
Well, let's see, we've had the chicken on for probably about 20 minutes now. And guess what? They're still in there, standing up tall, and haven't moved at all on us, so which is very good. I don't like to see one tip over because we would have a problem here, but and they'll start browning up in about at an hour's time.
Okay.
We have a large grill that we can put 12 on. So when you open up that grill, they're all standing at attention, looking like they're ready to march right off of the grill. So on this smaller one, you can put 6 on at one time.
Jim, can you turn it down?
Turn it down? Okay. Ready on us. Okay, we have another batch ready to go, Glen. So we're going to keep these coming because I can't just serve, one part of the room. We'll keep Margie busy here tonight.
So how long have you been in the cooking area? How long has GASPRO been in the cooking area?
We've been in the cooking area probably for since 1985 when we really started concentrating on it. And again, as I said earlier, this is the fun part of the business. However, we have expanded the line primarily because of the fried turkey and fried chicken is what started expanding it for us. Okay.
So I guess the beauty about all this cooking is it's just a one-stop shopping place. You just go to GASPRO and you can get the the whole outfit right then and there.
That's what we want to be able to have our customers come in and have fun in the store. We have the recipes in the store. I think this is critical, so you can take some of these home and use them in the, as you said, in the backyard, or even some can be done in the kitchen. Again, I'm not allowed in the kitchen. I do absolutely zero cooking in my kitchen, but I do a lot of cooking, probably 3 nights a week outside. The nice thing about these recipes is you can get them ready the night before, and then you can take and put them on when you get home from work or from school. And our turkey right now is still running at about 340, and we've had that in for probably maybe in the neighborhood of 20 minutes. Am I correct in that area?
Okay. Where's our timekeeper out here?
And I will just show everybody about what it looks like at this point.
Wow.
And it will be golden brown. It should be golden brown. If it comes out black, what has happened is the heat has exceeded 350 degrees. So you may also want to make sure that you've got an accurate thermometer.
So actually the outer part of the turkey is kind of seared so that the oil doesn't penetrate into the meat.
Because it's chilled with the turkey sitting in the refrigerator overnight, the turkey itself is chilled, and when you place it in the hot oil, yes, it will sear the outside of it.
I see. And so the turkey will be nice and juicy on the inside, and
Yes, it will.
and the skin will be nice and crispy.
Oh, the skin will be very crispy, and actually we probably needed more than one turkey tonight because everybody's going to be fighting over the skin.
Huh? Oh, maybe we can take a shot of the students here eating the mandu.
Okay.
Are they on? Well, we'll get them on sooner or later.
This is our third.
And again, for those of you who just joined us, you're watching Agriculture 194A, Focus on Agriculture. And this evening we're featuring GASPRO Hawaii. And we have with us Jim Webb and Margie Yoshioka and Richard Yoshiyama and Glen Kotomori and Mark Manzo. And you can see our happy students here tasting the mandu. Okay. So Jim, in addition to the mandu now, you're also going to do some noodles and...
The next dish will be, yes, the next dish we'll be cooking will be the fried noodles. As soon as Richard finishes up on that, he will take us through the fried noodles and what we do there.
And when did GASPRO actually get started here in Hawaii?
We've been in business in Hawaii since it's our 95th year.
Is that right?
And for you young people in the audience, how it started, GASPRO started by manufacturing acetylene, and was primarily used then not just for welding, but it was used for the lights on the motor car. The small cylinder we call an MC refers to motor car. So acetylene was what was used to produce lights on the automobile when the automobile was first introduced.
Wow.
So many years we have been here servicing the community.
And GASPRO is actually a mainland corporation?
Yes, but we're a worldwide corporation and we want to maintain the Hawaiian identity, so we have continue to use the GASPRO name.
And of course the Hawaii Community College has a welding sheet metal program, and they use a lot of your equipment there, right?
They have a very good program here, an excellent program, and we work very closely with the Glen and Mark work very closely with the instructors. We'll get the ingredients next for the fried noodles, and
okay.
We'll start that dish, and then we'll also probably start preparing the Mahimahi.
Okay. And also you're going to do a shrimp dish.
Yeah, we're pretty busy tonight with these dishes. You can see why one person can't do this. And normally at a function, we'll have 2 or 3 large grills like this, and maybe 4 or 5 burners that we're using, because of the number of dishes that we're preparing, and because of the number of people we're serving.
And how many GASPRO people do you have at each of these functions?
Normally at these functions, 50% of them will be GASPRO people. The balance will be our customers will assist. So we could have somewhere around 15 to 20 people, depending upon the number of people that we're serving.
Okay.
And without the people, you could never do anything like this. We're very fortunate to have excellent people at GASPRO. These two with me tonight, any function, they're always there. And without the people, you absolutely cannot take part in these type of functions.
So, Richard, what do you call that thing that you're holding there? Strainer?
This is what is called a wok strainer.
And they come in various sizes. Some of them are obviously a lot wider. They're about 12 inches wide, and they come down to this little one here. It's a handy tool and almost a must when you do things like this.
And how do you take care of a wok anyway?
One of the things that you do with wok is you never ever wash your wok with soap. Normally when we get done with this thing and we get rid of the oil and everything else, we clean it up and we'll put some hot water in it just to sterilize and get some of the food off of it. And then once it cools down, we'll just wipe everything off, clean it off real well. We got to turn that fire off, Jim.
So never wash the wok with soap.
Never ever use soap on your wok. Never. What happens is you take the oil out of the metal, and then when you store it after you dry it out, it'll start to rust. A lot of people come back and say, well, my wok rust, and how come yours doesn't? It's because they've washed it with soap. The hot water will take care of the sterilization if you're worried about that. So you'll clean it up real good, and you want that little bit of oil. Once you get everything cleaned up like that with the water, you've got to put some cooking oil back on the metal so that it'll keep nicely. And what we do normally, because it's kind of a cumbersome thing to store a wok, and this is why most people don't like to fool around with this thing. But what you can do is after you get it cleaned up, just put it in a trash bag, and then a lot of people will put it hang it up in the garage or get it out of the way in a garage closet or something like this, because it's certainly something your wife wouldn't like to find under her kitchen sink.
Now, when you buy a wok, you have to cure it first, right?
Yes. And I think we're one of the few people that do it. If you come into GASPRO, what we'll do is we'll cure your wok for you, and simply what that means is we'll burn the iron for you and get it prepped for you, so that all you have to do is take it home and cook with it and not worry about it.
Okay.
Okay. Now I think we're going to start with the noodles, huh?
We're going to start with the noodles, so it's your turn to take over.
Oh boy. As Jim said, men cook a little bit differently. We're not like the women, and not like Margie anyway, that everything is very precise. And I like to call it tailgate cooking, and that's what we do. I mean, we have fun with it. We kind of like throw things in there, then they say, hey, let's try this, and we'll throw it in. Or I'd look at Margie and say, hey, do you think we have enough of this? And she'd say, yeah, I think it's enough. And that's the way we cook, and that's the way I like to cook, and I enjoy cooking like that. And I can't do this quarter a cup or half a teaspoon or something like this. So pay attention, you guys, because the recipe that we just handed out to you guys, there's 2 ingredients missing. And I don't know, Jack said that you guys are not having a test, but we thought that may be a good thing to have in there.
Okay.
For our audience tonight, both at home and here, you're absolutely, when you're looking at Richard, you're looking at a miracle. He had pancreatic cancer. There's a 10% survival rate. He's one of them. And he works now back working 10, 12 hours a day. And he overcome it, and he had a clean bill of health. And it just happened a year ago in December. And I'm so happy that he's back full time here in the last almost the last 9 months. So he's always by my side when we're cooking, and he just does a great job for us. His responsibility is gas manager.
Okay, what are you adding now?
Okay, what we have here is we're putting the stuff that takes a little longer to cook first, and that's the char siu. And Margie
Okay.
will put it. You're putting in the carrots. As you say, as you can see, as I mentioned earlier too, we don't really measure anything.
And the carrots are all julienne, right?
Julienne cut.
Okay.
You know what? We need somebody to hold this.
And what do you call those things you're wielding now?
These things here.
Yeah.
These are the ladles that we use, and then you see this in Chinese cooking all the time that they pretty much cook on high heat. So you got to constantly have to stir the food as you're cooking, otherwise it's going to burn. One of the difficult things about wok cooking is that most of the heat, especially with these stoves, are concentrated on the bottom of the wok, pretty much in the center of it, and the heat does not dissipate as much as I'd like to see it. So and I guess that's one of the reasons why you see people constantly stirring the vegetables or whatever they put in the wok.
So, Richard, do you
It's gonna
find
start to
this
grow
cooking
much.
kind of relaxing?
I beg your pardon?
Do you find this cooking relaxing?
Well, I tell you, we do so much of it, and we do it because it's a fun thing to do, and we wouldn't be doing it if it wasn't fun. And Jim keeps us hopping so much that, yeah, I guess you can call it a little bit of relaxation.
So how do you know when to put the oil in?
Pretty much, you can, as you're cooking, you'll see that, the thing gets to be a little dry.
Uh-huh.
And then we'll add. As I said, there's no science to this thing. It's just a fun way to cook, and you just eyeball things, and you see, if you think something's missing and there's not enough of one thing, just say, hey, come on, let's add some more. Okay, what else we got?
And the key is to keep stirring it.
The key is to keep stirring, or it's going to burn.
Okay.
Yeah, we need the noodles.
So what was the greens that you put in there?
Those were string beans, again, Julian style.
Okay. And where do you get
Jim,
the
can you
noodles?
hang on to this thing for me? I hate this stove. Okay, why don't you get this side? Okay, no, I just need to chop these noodles. Now these noodles are pretty long when you get them, so what you got to start to do is you got to start to just kind of dice it up a little bit.
So you can just use the ladle to chop up the noodles
Yeah,
too?
just use a ladle.
And those are stainless steel, are they?
I beg your pardon?
Are the ladles stainless steel?
Yeah, the ladles are stainless steel.
Okay.
Okay, Marge. He's tipping over.
And then what is that you're adding, Margie?
This is oyster sauce.
Okay. And how much would you say you put in?
You can lie, Marge. Go
Oh,
ahead.
jeez.
I think we need a little more, Marge.
Okay. I'd say about maybe
color.
Okay, I guess Richard's been doing this for so
about
long,
an
he can tell by the
eighth of a
color,
cup,
huh?
maybe?
Well, as I said, there's really no science to this thing, and it's a kind of a, you just kind of play it by your eye and the
sauce.
smell. And this is what is not in the recipe,
Okay.
and that's your fish sauce,
Oh, patis.
patis.
Okay.
It's actually I think it's from Thailand, the one we use,
Okay.
and that's the most common one that you find in a store.
Maggi.
And also Maggi sauce.
What is that?
Maggi.
Maggie sauce.
Actually, that's like a Chinese Ajinomoto, I guess you could call it. Monosodium glutamate.
You can add the onion and the bean sprouts.
Yeah.
Can you get this
No, the bean
Maggie?
sprouts are last. Give me the
You want the
onions.
Can you get the Maggie sauce here locally?
Oh, I'm sure you can. I think you'll find it in any supermarket, but it's more readily found. I don't think Hilo has a Chinatown.
Okay,
But,
now you added some green onions that's
Yeah.
been chopped to about 1-inch size, roughly.
Right.
Okay.
And we're going to be adding some.
Probably about a half a cup, Jack.
Okay. Well, if you like green onions, you put a little bit more in,
That's
right?
what you do. Go ahead. Now, give me some of that bean. Now,
Bean sprouts. Okay.
yeah. No, that's good. That's good. That's good. Bean
Wow.
sprouts.
You make-
And
You make it look easy, Richard.
Oh, it's so simple. It's so easy. And the last, the cilantro, the Chinese parsley.
Chinese parsley, okay.
You ready?
Yep. Not all of it.
So Chinese parsley
Need
goes
some
in
pepper.
last.
Yeah, those are the things that cook pretty quick. So what I like to do, and what my wife tells me all the time, put a lot of bean sprouts. That's what she likes in the thing. And she also tells me, if you want to cheat and you feel like you don't have enough noodles, and you got a lot of people coming unexpectedly, more than you thought you were going to have there, what you can do is you can chop some maybe cabbage or whatever you want to do and chop some of that in there.
Oh, and stretch it out a little bit.
Stretch it out a little bit.
Ah,
Okay, that's it.
wow.
You got your Chinese noodles.
You make it look so easy, Richard.
Oh, that was very simple. And anybody can do this. But now, if you want to give them a test, just make sure you ask them what that secret ingredient was, so that
Okay.
you can find out who was listening.
All right. Boy, that's a lot of noodles you made in, wow, not even in 5 minutes, or?
Oh yeah, you know, tailgate cooking is, and like Jim was saying, we go to these ball games. We've got 3 hours to cook for 200 people sometime. We had to figure out and get recipes that we could get done pretty quickly.
And sometimes you use a bigger wok than that?
Yeah, but you know what? I found that I don't particularly care for the bigger woks, because I said earlier about how the heat got distributed throughout the wok, and it just doesn't work well for me. So I like to stay around a 20-inch wok.
So that would be a 20-inch wok
About
right
a 22. I think this is about a 22.
there? Okay. And all of that is over there at GASPRO.
Yeah, you can find this in our store, and
Now,
I think Mark would be more than happy to cure any wok that he sells you.
do you prefer the stainless steel wok, or do you prefer the regular steel wok?
Oh, I like the steel wok much better.
It's better than stainless steel.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you garnish that with cilantro or
Cilantro.
Chinese.
And
Okay.
that's it.
Wow, that was quick and easy. Maybe I might be able to do that.
Oh, I'm sure you could.
Just need to get a nice wok and what do you call that heating unit there?
Oh, that's a king cooker, and that's also available in our store.
Okay.
There are different sizes. If you want one, and I know you guys want one, go down and see Glen Kotomori, our
Okay.
Hilo manager over there.
And Richard, how long have you been with GASPRO?
Longer than I like to think. But
Oh, okay.
I've been there for 28 years.
Richard,
Wow.
we don't like to answer that question
Yeah, I
because
know,
it ages
I
us,
know.
right?
Boy, I'll tell you.
I mean, we're all, when you say old timers, we are old timers.
But it's been a fun 28 years. So it's been-
Okay, so what are we going to do now, Jim?
Well, we're going to move on, and we're going to keep Richard continually busy. This is a recipe we started with about 4 or 5 years ago and continue to work with it. And it's a shrimp recipe, sauteed shrimp. And we try to use, in all of our cooking, homegrown products. This shrimp happens to be from the Kauai Shrimp Farm. And they're just for the students tonight. What they end up doing, they'll have fresh shrimp or they'll freeze it. And we have a cryogenic freezer there that once they process the shrimp and clean it, it goes through the freezer, and in 17 minutes through it'll be totally frozen. They'll pack it and then ship it off to, most of this will go to Japan. So we try to use homegrown products. Richard, what would you like first?
Okay, why don't we season that with some Cajun seasoning and some your shrimp first, and then some mayonnaise.
Okay, Cajun seasoning first on the shrimp, and mayonnaise.
Somebody tell me how much I'm putting in, because I'll tell you why. Probably about, maybe a small quarter of a cup in there and mix it up. But if I want to put more in, I'll put more in. Normally Margie watches because I love spicy food. So she'll watch pretty carefully. She's doing it now even. She stays real close when I'm doing that.
Oh, there you go.
And so if you like it spicy, you put a little more
Put a
in
little bit more in there and just, yep.
and kind of eyeball that mayo.
Well, we have it in the recipe in terms of how much, but as you see, the guys don't do that. We don't use those cups. I wouldn't know what to do with it, and whereas Margie does in her cooking.
Okay.
One of the things we have to do all the time, that we got to watch this guy because we got to tell him, enough already.
Well, I think the students will like it. We put a little fire to it tonight, no?
Yeah, looks like it's going to be nice and spicy.
Now, we use mayonnaise, and you can use it on not just the shrimp dish, but you could use it on other fish. It helps the fish, in this particular case, the shrimp, from drying out.
Ah.
There you are, Richard. I think this will be, and normally I like to do this part of it 2 hours before, 2 to 3 hours before, so that again the seasoning has a chance to soak in a little bit into the fish, or in this case the shrimp.
Okay.
We're going to put the bell pepper and the mushroom first.
Okay. Okay, Richard, peppers and mushrooms first. Good. That'll allow our shrimp to.
Since you complained about the other way I did it, so.
Well, we play with the recipe so much, we even change the sequence in which we do this. Tonight we're starting with the bell pepper, so.
Where did the ladle go? Oh, there we go.
Okay, you got finely chopped bell peppers, both the red and green type, huh?
Probably about a cup of them.
Okay.
1 cup.
Again, one of the things you can do, and this is kind of a fun recipe to do, because what we do every once in a while, you know, you get tired of maybe we use yellow bell peppers and orange and red and green, but we also, the last time we did this, I put some sweet peppers. And the Filipino people in their, can't remember that dish, what they call that dish, but they use a lot of sweet peppers in them, and that's pretty good. So you can do anything you want to do with this dish. Put whatever you like, you know.
Then you got some chopped mushrooms in there, okay. And again, the key is to just keep stirring.
Marge, I need more oil.
So if you see it getting kind of dry, you put in a little more oil in, huh?
Okay. Jim, can you turn that down?
Sure can.
Okay, that's good. Okay. All right.
So far, just bell peppers and mushrooms.
Mushrooms. Normally we would be using, as Jim mentioned earlier, Kauai shrimp. However, this time, I don't know, Glen got this down at a local store here, and it's not Kauai shrimp, but we find that by using Kauai shrimp, that the shrimp is a lot sweeter, and that's shrimp that is grown on Kauai by a company called SeaTech. And they have about, what, Jim, 14 ponds out in Manana, I guess?
20 ponds? 22 ponds right now, and they hope to double that by year end.
And what they do is they process it in a little town on Kauai called Hanapepe, which they flash freeze the shrimp, using, of course, our CO2, and that's how we got involved with them. But it's a heck of a product. And I think Mark from our office told me that they had made some kind of arrangement with a local wholesaler here, so you'll find some of that Kauai shrimp on the market here in a very short time. Try it because it's really sweet.
We have a lot of viewers from Kauai, and they'll probably be calling you up a little later on in the class. And how do you know when the shrimp is done, Richard?
It'll start to turn orange.
Okay.
And shrimp is anyway, I feel that it's an animal that you don't want to cook too well. You don't want to overcook it.
Okay.
So you want to just get it done. Just when it turns orange is when you want to get it off.
So when it starts turning orange, you just turn off the heat and then pour it into your tray.
That's it. So again, as you can see, Jack, this is a dish that you can pretty much get done pretty quickly.
Yeah.
When we get ready for these things, Actually, the work in cooking is not so much the cooking itself, but as you probably know, is the preparation prior to the cooking.
Well, if I had a wok like that, I think I might be able to do something like
Thai basil will be good.
make this dish.
Put the Thai basil in.
And then we've got Thai basil. That
Now we're putting some Thai basil.
Okay.
This you'll find very, very pleasant. I don't think we need all of it, huh? Huh?
And where did you get this recipe from?
You know, it's something that we played with, and
Kind of evolved, huh?
yeah, Jim's laughing because we started putting shrimp on skewers, and he was doing this recipe with mayonnaise, and he says, and one day we got lazy putting the thing on skewers, so we said, hey, why don't we just, just throw it in a pot? And then we looked at it and he says, we need some color in it, so let's throw some bell peppers and something. Then he says, we need something green in it, and that's really how this recipe came about. And then we started with the Kauai shrimp. We started serving it in a lot of our tailgates, and everybody enjoyed it. We did it up at North Hawaii Community Hospital, as a matter of fact, for a cookout they had over there. And
Maybe we can get the overhead camera into that wok and.
And you'd be surprised the amount of people that came up and said, "How did you make that?" You know, and it was so simple.
Ready for this Thai?
I think we'll put some more Thai basil on.
More.
Yeah, a little more.
Okay, a little bit more Thai basil goes in
As you
there.
can see, you know, we just kind of eyeball things, and that's enough. Okay, and maybe some of the cilantro. Then I think we're done.
And what's that? The green onion?
Oh, green onions, chives,
Okay, chives.
basically,
Ah.
and that's good. Oh, and the cilantro,
Cilantro.
Chinese parsley.
Boy, that looks like a real good dish to cook for the group.
Okay, good. Okay, we're done.
Wow.
We can turn that fire off, Jim.
I need it from either. I don't want to turn it off.
Okay.
Now I can see you folks are really experienced at this.
Well, if you do this as often as we have been, but we continue to experiment with the recipes. We like to find new recipes. So, as you said in the introduction, if the students have something they want us to try and do, we'd love to have a new recipe.
And what do we call that again? The shrimp,
Sauteed shrimp.
sauteed shrimp.
Yep.
Looks good.
Let's take that.
Oh, yeah.
And we can put it on the table in the front.
Oh, don't turn it off.
Oh, you got it?
I need it.
You need it?
And then what are we going to do? We're going to do,
Okay, I'll turn it on.
The next one is a foil wrapped Mahi.
okay.
You need a... Hang on.
That's hot.
So, hang on.
You take the bone.
And why don't we get the overhead again over the sauteed mushrooms and see all the colors in there? Okay. Yeah, that really looks good. Okay, and now we're going to go for the foil wrapped mahi-mahi.
Now we do have, Jack, just so you know, we do have, Rich and I kid a lot about it, but we do have recipes, and it does say quarter cup or half a cup or whatsoever. The problem is he and I are getting so old, we get senior moments, we don't remember one recipe from the others. So that's why we just add the ingredients as we go. So this one, what we'll do is we'll prepare the.
Yeah. Hang on.
We'll prepare our sauce first, and here we're using we use butter.
You're going to
Okay.
brown butter.
Mushrooms.
Okay, 1 block of butter and
1 block of butter, probably about a quarter cup of
mushrooms.
mushrooms, ½ cup of peppers again,
Okay, All chopped?
All chopped, and Margie will tell me a quarter cup, or I'll show you now. Tell me when there's a quarter cup. Again, we don't like. I guess that's a man thing. We don't like to have to measure and do the measuring. So.
Okay, and add some soy sauce.
And then we also have white wine we put in this particular. And we need to have a cup of that. Richard and I enjoy wine, so we'll probably put a little bit more than a cup in there tonight. Oh, what? Looks close enough, right?
That's a man of extremes. Oh,
Hawaiian salt. Quarter teaspoon of that.
now we can turn the fire up a little bit.
And then black pepper.
Okay.
How much was that? Everybody's laughing. Probably a quarter of a teaspoon. Probably, who knows? I'm not sure, but it's close enough. Now what we've done is we'll take the mahi, and you can use other fish too, but we'll make it maybe 4 or 5 inches, 2 inches wide. And then what we're going to do is we're going to place this in tin foil and then seal the tin foil. And what we do is we normally place a little oil on that, on the tin foil. Can I have the oil back? And then we'll take, now I have to use a cup to take equal amounts and place in the tin foil before I seal it up. So again, a very easy recipe to do, quick for the outside. You can prepare it beforehand.
So kind of make a little boat with the.
Just make a little boat with it.
Okay.
Or you're going to put some basil. You're going to put some basil in it. Yeah.
I want basil too, yes.
So you added some chives again?
We'll do
Or
it.
green
Right,
onion?
correct.
Okay. And
Oh,
basil?
the basil will be good, huh?
I just put a little oil in there just so there's no sticking
Put the rest of it in.
the outside.
Oh, that'll be good.
Okay.
So you talk about modification, Jack. I mean, I've never seen him put basil in this
I've
thing
never
before.
seen him put those in
I
there
know.
before. How did we do
Well,
that tonight?
I don't know.
Oh, well, we got something different. We'll try it. Let's see what happens, right?
We'll see what the
We're gonna see
students
what-
say here
Students will be
tonight.
there. Margie's just unloading everything we have in the
put some
back.
chives. That's good.
Is there anything else you'd like to see us add? I don't know what's left up here. And then we'll top them off with, before we seal it up, we'll top them off with baby shrimp.
Oh,
Just... Okay, Richard, how does it look? Ready to go?
Smells good anyway.
Well, that's a good sign. It smells good. I like that. That's very good. If you could just pour, I don't know how many of these we're doing, but if you just put a little in there. Not a little, nope, it's too much. I got 12 of these. Put some sauce in. Very
oh,
good.
so you put that sauce right over the mahi-mahi,
And then we'll fold it,
oh, baby shrimp.
and we'll put a couple baby shrimp on the top. Okay?
Okay.
And then just seal it.
And then, what do you do with
And
that?
then it goes on the grill for about, say 10 to 15 minutes. This probably will take 10 minutes. It's relatively thin. You can cut them a little bit thicker.
Okay.
How many of these we have, Margie? We'll measure them.
Oh, you got enough, Jim.
So, Jim, you want to go to question and answers while you're doing that? And
I'm fine with that. No problem. Question and answer.
we'll continue with that, and then later when the chicken gets done, you can show the chicken, but in the meantime, we'll go with question and answers. So we've come to that portion of the class where those of you in the viewing audience, and of course those of you here in the classroom, can ask questions of our guests this evening from GASPRO. So if you have any questions for us, please give us a call. The numbers are on the screen. The numbers are 974-7726 and 961-9046. So please give us a call if you're interested in any of the items over here. They have it at GASPRO, and give us a call. So do we have any questions? We have our first caller, so could you let us know where you're calling from and go ahead with the question, please. Hello, you're on the air. Ooh. Hello, are you there? I can't hear you. Can you hear that?
I don't know.
You have to turn up the volume, I
Fire
think.
down. It looks like it's done, Jim.
I can't.
You can pull that turkey out, Jim.
Okay, can you repeat the question, please?
Okay, you know the deep fried turkey?
Is it done?
The deep fried turkey, yes.
Yes. How do you store the oil?
How do you store the oil? You mean after you cook the turkey? Okay, after you use after you use the oil in deep frying the turkey, what do you do with the oil? Can you save it?
No, you
What you should do with the oil when you're done with it, and again, if you don't take it over 350 degrees, it doesn't break down, you strain it, you can put it in a container, and you can use it up to 6 times. You can tell though if it, as it starts, start using it 3rd, 4th, 5th time. Again, critical time on the cooking and the temperature with that oil. But a cottonseed oil or a peanut oil can be used up to 5 or 6 times. Vegetable oil, maybe once or twice.
Okay, does that answer the question?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, well, thank you for calling. And do we have another caller? We have another caller. Could you let us know where you're calling from and go ahead with the question, please?
Dr. Fujii?
Yes.
This is your friend Haruso Joe.
Oh, hi, how are you?
I have a question for Jim and Richard.
Okay.
Which this is a for real problem I have, you know. Ever since that the hunters start cooking wild game birds. Well, anyway, I've been buying this bird.
Oh, excuse me, Harusa Joe. Our timer said that the turkey should be out by now.
Okay, you got it?
Okay, go ahead, Harusa
Okay.
Joe.
Anyway, that I've been buying this thing called wild Cornish hen from the supermarket. I'm pretty sure it's domesticated, and I follow their instructions, and I could never get the color that Jim and Richard has on the turkey. You know, that's
Did you
nice
deep
and
fry it
brown.
in oil?
No. I've been following the people that the bird people that sell that wild Cornish hen, and they bake it. Now I'm wondering. That's why I'm asking Richard and Jim whether they ever did this the same as the way you're doing it on with your turkey. And I'm looking for a nice color because the Cornish hen comes out dull-looking color, you know, not very attractive.
Okay. Richard, have you folks ever done Cornish hens?
I myself have never done Cornish hens. However, my wife has, and from what I understand is that if I don't know what the recipe has what kind of instructions that what it tells you to do actually, but if it's like anything like turkey, and I imagine it is, if you leave it uncovered, a lot of the recipes will say you cover the hens with aluminum foil or something like this during the cooking process. And for the last 15 minutes, you remove the hood, and then just to give it a brown color. Now, I don't know what you're doing, but that's what I know about cooking birds.
How's that sound?
One of the things you can do is if you take the peanut oil the night before
and put some peanut oil on it.
Peanut oil inside and outside, it will help the browning process.
Got that, Harusa
But you
Joe?
folks never did cook it the way you folks cooked the turkey tonight, though, huh?
No, it's not deep fried, no.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe you folks did, so that's
Well,
why
you gave me an idea, so we will try it. Absolutely, we'll try that.
I saw even that guy from that Food Network. He cooked Cornish hen, and that thing that has a junk color. So I figured maybe by doing the way you cook your turkey, it would come out beautiful.
You could do
Well,
it.
you know, Harusa Joe, you can call Jim Webb up at GASPRO,
Yeah.
and he'll let you know if he tried it out or not.
We will
Okay.
definitely give it a try.
Okay, thank you, Jim.
You're
Oh.
welcome.
Thank you, Haruso Joe, for calling. And I think we have another caller. Could you let us know where you're calling from and go ahead with the question, please?
Hello.
Hi.
I was wondering, our family was thinking about making this for the weekend, and I was wondering if we could have the recipe emailed to us or if we could find it off of a website.
Which recipe is this?
The one that you're making now?
You mean the turkey? Or the mahi-mahi?
The Mahimahi.
Okay, let's see. Let me see if I can get that mahi-mahi recipe here, and I will put it on the Elmo for you. This looks like kind of an extensive recipe here. Can you read that?
Yes, I can.
Okay, I'm going to leave that on the Elmo there so you can kind of copy that down. But remember, all of these recipes will be in our new cookbook, which will be available at the end of the semester, sometime late in May.
Oh,
And-
late in May it's coming out.
Right.
Will that be available in bookstores or?
It'll be available through the College of Agriculture.
Oh, at UH.
Yeah, yes.
Oh, great.
Okay.
All right, thank you very much.
Okay, we have another caller. Could you let us know where you're calling from and go ahead with the question, please?
Hello,
Hi, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Hilo.
Okay, and your
May I
question?
have- What kind of seasoning did you use for the sauteed shrimp?
What kind of
Yeah, seasoning.
seasoning?
Cajun seasoning.
And that's available at GASPRO.
What is the seasoning?
It's a Cajun seasoning. You can get Cajun, yes.
Oh, I see. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you for calling from Hilo. And we have another caller. Could you let us know where you're calling from and go ahead with the question, please?
Yeah, calling from Hawaii Beaches.
Okay.
I wanted to ask, on your sauteed shrimp,
Yes.
what is that red? That red dry rub or something?
I think that is the red pepper, bell pepper? No?
What?
The seasoning?
Yeah.
Oh, the
It's
seasoning is
Cajun seasoning. again.
Cajun seasoning.
Cajun seasoning. Okay, I get one more question.
Okay, go ahead.
The Maggi sauce,
The Maggie sauce.
that is Ajinomoto.
It's a Chinese version of that's what I think it is, a Chinese version of Ajinomoto. But you'll find it. I think you can find it in a department store. I pick it up down in Chinatown, but and the Chinese use that quite a bit.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, maybe we can get a nice overhead shot of that deep fried turkey. And we'll take the next caller. Could you let us know where you're calling from and go ahead with the question, please?
Hi, I was just curious on that turkey.
Yes.
If, like Chinese restaurants, they cook up the chickens ahead of time.
Uh-huh.
And whatever style chicken you want, then they bring out the cooked chicken and the deep fried or cold ginger chicken. I was just wondering if you could boil the turkey first ahead of time and then deep fry it later when you're ready to cook, to cut down on cooking time.
Jim, what do you think?
I've never tried it that way because the cooking time is so quick at 3.5 minutes per pound for the turkey. I've never tried that. So I cannot answer it.
They haven't done that. You'll have to experiment on your own.
One of the things I might add, though, we've tried cooking larger turkeys this way, 20-pound turkeys, and it doesn't seem to come out as well as the smaller ones. So we try to stay between 12 and 15 pounds.
So it's best to use a turkey about 12 to 15 pounds. Okay. And we have another caller. Could you let us know where you're calling from and go ahead with the question, please?
I'm calling from Paradise Park.
Okay, and your question?
For a 10-pound turkey, how long does it take? Just about, estimate.
Again, 3.5 minutes, so 10 pounds would be approximately 40 minutes.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for calling. And I think we have another caller. No callers, so we have another 10 more minutes. Do we have a question from the classroom? Melvin, do we have a question? Yes, okay, we have a question right in the back. Go ahead.
how it actually works.
Okay.
I want to ask, like, okay, with the, what's it called? The chicken beer butt. Sorry, I had to say it like that, but okay. Like, what can you do with the can of beer after it's finished cooking?
What do I do with the beer after
Yeah.
done cooking? We have destroyed the beer, so I'm sorry. We just throw it away.
Okay, we have 2 callers, so we'll take the first caller. Could you let us know where you're calling from and go ahead with the question, please?
Hi, this is Joe calling from Laie on Oahu.
Okay.
I wanted to find out for the wok, is that burner low pressure or high pressure coming from the gas tank?
Okay.
High pressure.
High pressure.
High pressure, because you're cooking with 172,000 BTUs.
Okay. The BTU, that's a high BTU.
Yes.
How much does that cost?
The regulator? The
Yeah, for the
regulator,
whole setup, including the gas tank.
depending upon the style and so forth, they can run anywhere from $150 on up to $300 if you want to get stainless steel and the pot and everything with it.
Okay. I appreciate it. You guys are doing a great show.
Thank you very much. We appreciate hearing that.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you for calling. And we have another caller. Could you let us know where you're calling from and go ahead with the question, please?
Hi.
Hi. Where are you calling from?
Honolulu.
Okay.
I was wondering, on the turkey, could you pre-cook the turkey, like boil it ahead of time to cut down on the frying time?
We had that question
We had
before.
that question, and again, we've never tried that because of the 3.5-minute cooking time now with the turkey. I think what would happen is you wouldn't get the nice crisp skin that you do get right now. And that skin is very important to us here, correct? That's the good part. I can see the students are waiting for the skin.
Does that answer the question from Honolulu? I guess it did. We have another caller. Could you let us know where you're calling from and go ahead with the question, please?
Hi, I'm calling from Kaneohe,
Okay.
Oahu.
Okay.
I'm very interested in the turkey.
Okay.
What was it that you injected it with?
Okay.
Well, now the students are laughing, but you can inject the turkey. And you can use butter sauce. We have an injector for that, and you can, sometimes what I'll do is, the ladies normally don't like it spicy hot, so one side I'll just leave alone, the other side I will spice it up and inject it with a liquid seasoning. And,
Do you ever add Hawaiian salt?
I always use Hawaiian salt. Yes, ma'am.
And have you ever tried using any other form of meat, for instance, a pork butt?
Yes, we've done a pork butt also.
And how would you cook that?
Well, again, the size and the minutes, you're probably around 6 to 7 minutes a pound on that.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, well, thank you for calling from Kaneohe. We have a question from the classroom. Go ahead. Press the button on the, let the green light go on.
For the chicken, can you cook them in an oven?
The chicken, the beer butt chicken in an oven, yes, but I would put it on an aluminum foil tray, okay, because it does spill over. It will spill a little bit. You'll have a little dripping, and we have in the bottom of our grill, we have a catch pan for it. So if you put an aluminum foil tray, it'll work.
Does that answer
Again,
the question?
375 degrees, about an hour, 15 minutes probably in the oven.
Okay, we have another caller. Could you let us know where you're calling from and go ahead with the question, please?
Hello,
Hi, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Honolulu.
Okay, and your question?
I'd like to inform the people to tell the people on the show
Yes.
about put their chicken. They have to put water and not oil first, and the turkey, and to go and gauge the oil or the water before they put the oil in. And that way they won't run into a problem.
I think
All
what
right.
you're saying is measure the amount of oil that you're going to need by placing your turkey first in the pot, filling it up with water so you know the level of oil that you have to have.
Yes, I just thought that you would bring it up to your.
I did at the outset of the show, sir. I was going through all the safety tips first in terms of using the pot.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you for calling.
Okay, and I think we have no callers. We have a question from the classroom. Go ahead while we wait for callers.
Concerning some of the equipment, what's the duration of one of the small tons of gas that you have, since you use it to fry a turkey, probably close to an hour, 350 degrees, you know? How long would it last? Did I have no idea?
How long does the cylinder last? Is that what you're saying?
How many turkeys you could probably cook for an event or something?
You will get probably about 12 hours of cooking from that cylinder doing turkeys. All right. If you're doing something not quite as hot, it'll be you'll just gain more time for the use of it. Probably 14 to 16 hours, but about 10 to 12 hours.
Okay, we have two callers, so we'll take the first caller. Could you let us know where you're calling from and go ahead with the question, please?
Yeah, this question is for Richard.
Okay.
You know, I have a wok I bought from you guys a few months ago, but it's kind of rusty. How do you take the rust out?
Okay, who's going to answer that?
What you could do is, you know, just scour it out with some scouring pad or probably even wet and dry sandpaper. You can just get the rust out anyway. And then what you need to do is, again, you need to re-cure the wok. And what I mean by that is, of course, burning it. And if you put it on a stove like what we've got there, as you burn it on high heat, you'll notice the metal start to turn blue. Okay, now so you can cure the wok completely and then recoat it with some cooking oil. And that should take care of it.
Okay, thank you.
Now, if you have any problems with that, next month in April we have a industrial show. Bring it to us and we'll help see if we can fix it up for you.
Okay, well, thank you for calling. And we have another caller. Could you let us know where you're calling from and go ahead with the question, please?
Hello.
Hi, where are you calling from?
Hawaii.
Okay.
I noticed that you guys only made like food dealing with the main dish and poo-poo. But I was wondering, do you guys have any pastry recipes?
What kind of recipe?
You answered that, Margie. I didn't hear it.
Can you answer that?
I didn't hear
Is
the
it
question.
pastry recipes?
Yeah.
We've never done any pastries or anything like that at a tailgate, so I don't know. We've never tried anything like that using the type of cookers that we use, like the wok and the grills. We've never done that.
So if you have any ideas, give Jim a call and they'll try it out.
Oh, okay. Thank
Okay,
you.
well, thank you for
Bye.
calling. And we'll take the last caller. Could you let us know where you're calling from?
Yes,
and
I'd
go
like
ahead
to
with the question,
know
please.
what you put in the noodles.
Okay, what are the ingredients for the noodles?
We put in, let's see, char siu, string beans, chives, carrots, and cilantro.
And I'll put it on the Elmo for our caller, and I'll just leave it on there for a while. And I think we've completely run out of time. I'd like to thank Jim Webb, Margie Yoshioka, Richard Yoshiyama, Glen Kotomori, and Mark Manzo for joining us from GASPRO and sharing their expertise with us. And we hope that you'll join us next Thursday when we will have the Hawaii Community College Food Service Program. And this is Jack Fujii saying thank you for watching and have a good evening.
Oh, the fish. Huh? The fish what? What?